Smart Reverb 2 is the new version of Sonible's flagship Reverb plugin. For version 2, Sonible decided not to go for more of the same, but for quite a radical overhaul with new functions, while of course maintaining the core of version 1. If you compare Smart Reverb 2 with the previous version, there's already a big visual difference. Version 2 feels like a completely new plugin and not like some slight improved take of the previous one, something you see way too often. In regards of reverb sound, the difference is pretty big. Instead of having variations of the same algo, you get 4 distinctly different sounding reverbs in version 2. The XY pad blends between the 4. The biggest new feature is the grouping option, which lets you control multiple instances of Smart Reverb 2 in one window, which is very powerful and flexible. We'll dive into that feature after I have taken you through how Smart Reverb 2 works and sounds. Here's a first hint of how Smart Reverb 2 sounds on a mix. This dub reggae type of groove has 4 instruments. First you get dry without any reverb, then I'll switch them all on. This goes from dry in your face to spacious, exactly what you expect and want when adding reverb. Here's the big disclaimer: this video is sponsored by Sonible, but they have not seen this video before you do, and my opinions are mine and mine alone. The manual clarifies that Smart Reverb 2 uses AI-powered analysis to adapt the reverb to the audio you use it on. This is done by using the Learn button. The Learn function only learns when there's audio happening. On silences, it waits. At first you might think that Learn doesn't do much, but the results really differ depending on which profile you use and which audio you use to learn on. To demonstrate that, I have 3 the same snares with Smart Reverb on it, but for these 2 I used a Learn on a synth pad and on a vocal and dragged the plugins on this snare. Listen to how different these reverbs sound. The length of the reverb is the same every time, just as the blend. It's more on the subtle side, more glue than effect, and I think this is really good as a starting point. From here, play around with the reverb type in the XY matrix and with the distance control. I found that I often disable auto gain and manually change the output gain to have more reverb level while increasing the distance. Now, Sonible shared with me that Smart Reverb 2 was mostly intended as an insert plugin. But if you want to set it up as a send or aux effect, simply press WET and you're good to go. This also disables the distance parameter. Now here is how the different reverbs can sound in a mix. The song I used in the beginning of the video uses a blend of all the 4 reverbs. Let's check the individual tracks, and this is also the first example of the grouping function. I will solo on the left side, but will select the reverb of each instrument in this one plugin window. The drums have a global blend between the 4 reverbs. Guitar 2 uses the spring reverb. Guitar 1 has the plate on it. And there's even a hint of reverb on the bass, but this instrument is mostly dry. Let me change the distance, because on this bass it actually demonstrates nicely. Distance not only changes the dry-wet balance, but also applies a tonal change. This frequency change can be disabled here. The plugin has a few creative modes. Let's use this vocal with room reverb on it. You get the choice of normal mode.
Oh, I can see you making eyes at me. You think you got it so good.
Infinite.
I can't decide if you can give me everything
Reverse.
I need. Don't go
And bounce.
get lost in the night.
There's also quite a bit to tweak if you want, like using manual mode. This lets you tweak the high, mid and low end energy in the reverb.
It's 2:15, but I'm only getting started. Cause I'm crazy for you, so don't leave me broken hearted.
You can shorten the reverb in a gated reverb style.
I can't decide if you can give me everything I need. Don't go wasting the time, we'll get lost in the night.
There's width.
Don't go wasting the time.
Clarity, which is like a ducker.
It's 2:15, but I'm only getting started.
Color.
Cause I'm crazy for you, so don't leave me broken hearted.
And of course, size.
Oh, I can see you making eyes at me. You think you got it so good.
Before we dive in the biggest change, the grouping mode, please make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit a little notification bell if you haven't done so already. Now, the new group mode is very interesting. For that, I'll go back to the reggae song. You start by creating a group. After that, you see all other instances of Smart Reverb 2. Simply drag and drop to add them. Be careful to put them in the right reverb spot. After you have added all your tracks to the group, you can access all of the settings of all the instances you added from within one window. This already is a huge workflow improvement, but it extends beyond this. When you select multiple instances, you can change the parameters of all of these at the same time, like with the distance. This also works for the other parameters. One thing more I want to point out is the source adaption mode. Especially when in group mode, this one can declutter the reverbs. It adds clarity to all reverbs in one group. Check it on this example. This is reverb on vocal, snare and synth lead. I do have to make a mention about the CPU usage, because this one changes depending on the reverb length. I got between 5 and 25% on one instance on my AMD test system. But adding more instances of the plugin didn't scale the same way. Those barely added anything. I would try it out yourselves on your own system. The change from Smart Reverb 1 to 2 is huge. All the options make it worthwhile to check out in my opinion, especially when you work with multiple reverbs in one mixed project.